I do want to introduce my friend Dave Ruel. I feel like at this point he needs no introduction. He was at the East Coaster table last night at the dinner, and fun things were happening in that in that end of the room. I told you this yesterday. I first heard Dave speak at Uriel Kame's event last year called Healthpreneur Live down in Phoenix. There were a lot of fabulous speakers that weekend, and Dave started to speak, and he had me at a few moments, but he threw up this like Excel picture of his schedule, and I was like, that's amazing. It's amazing because it was so tight and organized and strategic, and I was like, I need that. I took a picture of it, and then poor Heather, every time I come back from a conference, I'm like, guess what we're doing? Anyways, and then we started to play around with like tightening my schedule and being strategic on my schedule and how we utilize time, and when it was game-changing for us. The Epic Planner was really cool, and I still use that every single day. But Dave's framework and the way he talks about the journey of an entrepreneur and how we hit these ceilings of complexity as entrepreneurs, and we have to break through them, and we need new systems every time we hit that ceiling and we start to pursue and change and drive our business forward, was so intuitive and important and impactful that I was like, Dave, you gotta be here. We need you to help these clinicians, because we've heard this a lot this weekend, that actually operations and time management, that these are actually significant issues that everyone's facing. It's not nearly as sexy, Mary, as like, how do I publish my first book? But it's massively important to being able to not only provide effective patient care, but to preserve ourselves as people with an element of balance in our existence. So, Dave, I want to welcome you to the stage. You have the task of preserving balance for a room full of practitioners, creating time for them, and preventing burnout. My friend Dave Ruel.
Thanks, Meg. You rock. First of all, Meg, thank you for having me here with you guys. True privilege. I want to give you guys to give Meg a big round of applause to our awesome business badass ninja. And I want you guys to give yourself a big round of applause for being here, because the fact that you're here today means that you are also awesome business badasses. So give yourself a big round of applause, ladies. The three dudes in the place. Yes. Don't say anything stupid, okay? All right, thank you for having me today. Who would like to know an exact step-by-step plan that you can build for under $1,000 that will generate $10,000 weekly like clockwork? Who would like that? Okay, I can't help you with that. So sorry. But would you like to know how to implement systems in your business so your business can run itself and thrive even when you're not there? Would you like that? That's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about, I always go with my slides and I feel like they're far away. How to drive your business to success without the burnout. So before we get started, I got something here, and I got a timer, and I got 33 minutes, and I don't like that. I like that Meg's like, he creates time. Nah, I'm notorious for going over my presentation. I'm a serial lifestyle entrepreneur. I've been building online businesses, founding, growing, investing in online businesses for about a bit more than 10 years now. Author and speaker as a part-time thing. I'm a proud Maritimer, so those who met me know I lived in Maritimes. I live in New Brunswick. I lived in deep woods of New Brunswick, and I love it. I'm very proud of it. I'm a dad and a husband. I'm happily married to actually a psychotherapist, so I know how to do clinician life a little bit. And I'm the dad of 2 daughters, 4.5 and 4 months old. I'm a Scotch and cigar lover, which I really wanted to say because it's appropriate in a health environment with a room full of doctors, obviously. But if you creep on my Instagram, that's hilarious. People think I smoke like 16 cigars a day, but it's just all I post on Instagram. And I'm a Montreal Canadiens mega fan. Woo! I thought it was appropriate to say that in Toronto. Congratulations on getting John Tavares. Congrats. I mean, jeez, good job. And I specialize in creating businesses that maximize profit and freedom, and I call them self-driving businesses. Okay? So I want you to picture your business as a vehicle, okay? A vehicle for financial vehicle, but also a vehicle for impact, right? We're here to talk about impact, and using your business as the vehicle to create that impact is what you will do. So I want you to picture yourself in the driver's seat of this business, which is your vehicle. And I want you to ask yourself, how are you driving your business? Are you like this guy? I mean, it looks like, I don't know, he's on his phone. You see there's something coming, he's anticipating something bad going to happen. He has his coffee, obviously, because he doesn't sleep. And he looks a bit stressed, right? Do you feel like you're running a business like that a bit? Or are you like this guy? I mean, it looks like the entrepreneurial world is totally smooth and cool for this guy, you know? He doesn't look stressed at all. You know, his business obviously is running super smoothly. Seriously, I mean, he looks super freaking stressed, right? And I don't know if there's a wall coming up or whatever, but it doesn't look like a pleasant experience. Who can relate to this guy? Yeah. Or are you running your business like this? This is a Tesla. And that lady has hands on her lap. Looks like she has a really nice dashboard going on that gets her where she wants. And it looks, even though there's traffic, it looks like a totally stress-free experience, right? Who's driving? You're driving a business like that? Congratulations. Or you have a Tesla. So who would like a business like this? Yeah. I'm going to try to give you some pointers on how to build a business like this. The question, what do you do before you start driving somewhere? What's the first thing that you're going to be doing? Decide where you're going. You're going to set a destination, right? I mean, you're not going to start driving unless you just broke up with your partner and you're super sad and you just feel like driving somewhere for no reason. You can do that. But usually, you set up a destination, right? This is when I started my first business. So my first business, online business, was in the fitness space, and business still exists and still runs up to this day. And this is how I got started. I was living in Ottawa. My wife was finishing her master's degree at the University of Ottawa, and that was my first office, which was an old table frame that we had bought, we had found in somewhere. It was just on the side of the road. Painted that. We took a piece of plywood, stained it, put it on there, and it's how I started my first business. And at that point, my dream, my main vision was pretty much, or my main motivation was pretty much what every single entrepreneur wants when he or she starts. You know what that thing is?
Freedom.
That's freedom. And we always start our journey because we're like, I'm so tired of trading time for money and being at the mercy of my schedule and my patience and everything, and I want freedom, right? And for me, it looked like this. So the funny thing is that last year, I gave pretty much that exact same keynote last year, and I was doing some research. I had built it last year, and I was looking into my old files on my computer, and I found this, how do you call that, mind map, or how do you call that, vision map. Because that's what I wanted for myself at that point. So that thing is 12, 13 years old. And that's pretty much what I wanted. I wanted a big house, on the water somewhere. I wanted to have a nice family life. I wanted to play hockey on the pond in Maritimes. I wanted to spend more time in Iceland because I love Iceland. And I go there often. I wanted a group of entrepreneurial friends because when I started, I felt like no one understands me. My friends were not in the same space. I was I want friends like that, with people with whom I can talk about my projects, and I want people like that in my life. And I wanted to be a little bit like this guy, on the top right, on the beach, classic, picture, lifestyle entrepreneur on the beach, surfboard. Have you tried to work on the beach with your laptop? Don't do it. It's a terrible idea. Your thing gets super hot. Sand gets in the keyboard. Terrible idea. Don't do it. It's not. It's deceiving. It doesn't look. It's not what it looks like at all. But this dude, I mean, stock photos. But then starts the entrepreneurial journey. Yes. Which looks, well, you know, a little, pretty much like that, you know. But just like, it goes longer than 1,000 meters. So I'm going to go put you through like the classic entrepreneurial journey, and you will identify yourself at some point, you know, in this journey, because we're all at different levels in our entrepreneurial journey, right? So you heard the concept of business that coaches and influencers keep talking about. Build, grow, scale. You heard about that? And it seems like that's what you have to do, right, in business. So then you start. And you start with usually a passion. You start with an expertise. You start with something, and you're like, I'm going to make a business out of what I know or what I like to do, right? So obviously, most of you guys are doctors. You are experts in your field, and you're like, well, I'm going to start a business based on what I do best. That's why we call the startup phase. So the startup phase goes usually to up to about $100,000 in revenue or so. It's a cool moment because it's like you're super enthusiastic about it. You're pretty naive about what's going on because it's brand new. You don't even know, but you don't care. It's all fun. You start. Money starts coming in. It's great. It's pretty much just you in your business, which is super cool. So low friction. It's nice. It's a super nice time. But then comes the first pain zone when you realize that, damn, I'm just doing way too much. And there's no way I can grow that thing. And I'm stressed all the time, and I'm working 24/7, right? And this is at the time where you start thinking about your business. Who's in the startup zone now? Who's in the startup zone? Cool. It's a cool time to enjoy it. Enjoy the startup zone. Who is hitting the first pain zone right now where they feel a little bit too stretched out? They are out of capacity, they need help, they need systems in their business. Who feels like that? Cool. Usually that goes about like, you know, I would say $250,000 in revenue, like because you can stretch it, but the more you stretch it after $100,000, it's like, obviously it's not an exact science, the numbers can change, but that's what we've been seeing overall, you know, in business. And this is what it looks like, being in a pain zone, right? So I love this. This is from Joan Cornelia, which is a Spanish cartoon artist, and I love this guy. Like, it's I mean, look him up on Facebook. It's hilarious. But look at this guy. I mean, what is he doing? Talking on his phone, answering some emails, signing some things. Obviously, he's meditating because that's what you have to do. He's like, damn, I'm so stressed. I'm going to meditate. But dude is like, the back office is burning, but he's like, no, I got it. It's under control. Who feels like this? Yeah, because we're trying to always keep a straight face because we're entrepreneurs. That's what we do, right? That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be busy, right? It looks a lot like that. But after that, when you're past that, there's a zone called the lifestyle zone, which is great because usually you learn from the first pain zone, you make the changes necessary, and then you come to a big stretch of time where it's fun. There's balance within your business. There's more money coming in. Usually you start building a team. There's some systems being implemented. And it's the life. So pretty much this is where you're going to have the best lifestyle, right? And usually, like, we go in business for what? At first, the first thing, freedom, right? So usually we go in business for this. But then the world tells you, or the culture tells you that you need to scale. You need to grow. More money, more clients, more everything. And this is when you hit the second pain zone. So if you thought like the first pain zone was painful, this one's like going into labor and having kidney stones at the same time. Like I know what I'm talking about, right? My mom told me. But there's a big, in all seriousness, there's a big pain zone between like, usually it happens like early 7 figures in any business. Anyone right now in the second pain zone, like who are on the verge of scaling their businesses or thinking they should scale their businesses? So if you eventually get there, trust me, like really think about what you want from your business or for your life, all right? Because when we think about impact, you will impact your business the best way possible if you are totally aligned with what you want. And for most of us, we want the freedom. And once you do that and when you're in a good state, this is when you have to have the most impact. So that's why I think most people should actually not scale their business. Go in the lifestyle zone, do a great freaking job. Because going through the second pain zone, most of you guys are not going to survive it. I've been there. I barely survived. It's not fun. And then you go into the corporate zone, and it's a totally different world, right? And I don't think not a whole lot of people are ready for that, honestly. So I just want you to be aware of what's coming in the entrepreneurial journey, especially if you're in the pain zone or the lifestyle zone, and you're about to think, like, what should I do? That doesn't mean you shouldn't scale your business. I mean, understand what's coming, okay? Such a positive message that I'm sending right now, right? No, don't scale. But it's important for you guys to know that. But the thing is, the truth and the reality as well is that most people, when they get out of the first pain zone, they hit what we call the lifestyle zone turns into the burnout zone, right? So this is really when things get extra chaotic. So business revenue is growing, but so as your hours, so as your stress, and so as everything crazy in your business. And everybody, all your team members are running around like they're, like chicken with their heads cut off. It's totally chaotic. And for most people, it turns into the burnout zone, right? I love this meme. Who says having your own business is stressful? I'm 39 and I'm feeling great. This guy's about to go into biohacking and extra meditation and microdosing LSD and all what entrepreneurs do, right? So I'm going to share with you 8 signs that you could be in the burnout zone right now. If you're not sure if you're in the burnout zone, like be honest with yourself and look at these 8 signs that you might be in the burnout zone. You spend most of your time putting out fires. So do you feel that in your business right now, it's emergencies after emergencies, and you put out a fire, and next thing you know, there's another fire starting there, and you put out this one, there's another one going there. Who feels like that in their business right now, that they're just like firefighters in their business instead of really working in their business? Who feels like that, right? And the more you go into your entrepreneurial journey without systems in place, the more you're going to have fires just popping up. You feel squeezed. Too much time, too much to do, and not enough time. Who feels like that? Right, time is huge. The problem is that especially if you're a doctor and you're treating clients one-on-one, you can only take so many clients at the same time, right? So most of you guys are going to feel really squeezed, and you're going to see like a ceiling, right, in your practice after a while. Oh, this one's good. Your to-do list keeps getting longer and longer. So your to-do list is like like these rolls of things to do, and you're like, oh shoot, that much. Who has an extra long to-do list out of control? Most people do, right? And this is what the Epic Planner also tries to solve, or solves for you, is not to have. So those of you who were at the session yesterday, is actually to not have these long lists, right? Your projects are never completed on time, so you have a lot of really good ideas. You're very enthusiastic about them, but you start your project and life happens and business happens and they don't get completed on time, right? Does that happen? No time for yourself. You realize, like, damn, that whole business entrepreneur thing is like taking a toll on my health. I haven't gone to the gym in 6 months, and I haven't been on a date with my husband or my partner for a year. And I feel like I can't create that much. I feel like I'm always just reacting to my business, and I don't, I love to just coming up with new ideas and creating them. I can't do that, and I don't have any time off. Like, damn, like it's just like Groundhog Day all the time. One of the worst ones for entrepreneurs is you feel like a robot. You feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. This is probably the worst thing when you start feeling like this, because it takes the human out of you, and then you start becoming robotic. And for an entrepreneur, who's usually a more creative person by nature, this is killing that entrepreneur little by little. It's the worst thing that happens. Always on the edge and reactive, constant incoming flow of emails, messages, meetings, and it's like a non-stop thing. It doesn't seem to stop. And eventually you feel emotionally drained, problem sleeping, stress, anxiety. Who has more than three of these right now? Raise your hand if you can identify with 3 or more of these. It will be a good time now to look into what you're doing and start maybe making some changes. Because things are not going to get better if you don't start addressing it right now. So I'm going to show you how to get out of the burnout zone. And that's what I did personally. So long story short, after founding my first business in the fitness space and started to get success early on with it, I got approached by other people to help them do the same thing. So I started a publishing company. And that publishing company became very successful fast too. And seeing the success of that publishing company, I got approached by a supplements company who wanted me to do what I did and help them. So I said yes, obviously, because that's what we do. With success comes opportunities. And early on, you don't know how to say no. And you don't want to say no because you don't want to, you don't want to have FOMO. You want to seize every single opportunity. So that's what I did. And I eventually, after accidentally running 3 7-figure businesses, burned myself to the ground. And I had to make some very, very important changes and make very important decisions to get out of it. That's what I'm going to share with you. So first of all, what I did was I outlined my non-negotiables. So I realized that, dude, you started from your kitchen table because you wanted freedom. You wanted to be free. You wanted to make good money, but money was never like the main motivator. You know what I mean? Money is part of business, but it wasn't a motivator for me. For me, it was freedom. It was freedom of time, freedom of creation, right, for the most part, and freedom of movement. I wanted to do whatever I wanted when I wanted. That's what motivated me. So I had to reconnect with that and outline my non-negotiables. So at that point, I decided to say no to anything that wasn't aligned with what I really wanted. Yesterday we talked about the big picture and the alignment through the annual guideline. This is how it started. I had to reconnect with my main vision and understand that if it's not there, it's a hard no. So you can write it down, and what I did was I just wrote them down, and it was in my office, and it was there so I could see it, and I lived by it. And the thing that I did, I eliminated everything that wasn't aligned with them. So I had to make super difficult and tough decisions. That meant closing one business, and that meant selling another business. And when you build businesses, or when you spend like a fair amount of time like building or investing in your business, they're like your babies. You don't want to let go, right? It's like sending your kid to school or university and maybe never going to see them again. And that's how it felt. It was tough, but I had to do it. And from there, I set boundaries to make sure that I would never fall into the same patterns again, right? Boundaries on my time, boundaries on my task as well. Okay, yesterday we talked about the number of tasks that you need to take, the nature of the tasks that you need to take at certain moments. I had to establish that for myself, okay? And set these boundaries. If you have no boundaries, it's not going to get better. Same thing for emails, If you have no boundaries for your emails or for your social media, it's an easy example, but it's true. I started reclaiming my schedule. I started making like a very clean schedule. I mean, when you're an entrepreneur and freedom is your main motivator, you want to screw the 9 to 5. You don't want a 9 to 5 schedule. You want to do what you want, when you want, and you want that freedom of doing what you want. And then you realize that, damn, no, I really need a schedule. And this is when we started done by noon approach, which wasn't called done by noon, but we started like actually chunking our time, my time, and seeing how I could work better within my time. So I reclaimed my schedule. I created routines and rituals within my day. In the Epic Planner is pretty much like the summary of everything that I did that I've put into one planner, right? So you're gonna see like the morning routines that we recommend, and we tested that with hundreds of entrepreneurs over time. And what you got now is pretty much like the result of what we found in our studies within the entrepreneurial world. And we created routines and rituals. Simplify the operations, huge. So when you're growing, one of the big mistakes that entrepreneurs do, they're gonna hire people or gonna plan just in case. So more than often, they're gonna hire a bunch of people to take over some of their work. And they're gonna be like, hey, here's the mountain of work that I have. Here it is. Have fun, right? And you're gonna tend to overhire, and you're gonna tend to react just in case because you anticipate the growth. And it's a big thing. It's a big, big, big mistake. So I had to clean up a lot of the operational nightmares that we had made and started working just in time. So instead of preparing in advance and anticipating that something might happen, we're like, okay, we got this roadblock, let's hire that person right now. Or let's implement that system right now. So there was no waste of energy, no waste of money, no waste of time, in our schedule. I reconnected with the three vital points that we all have: health, relationship, and freedom. That's what we want as entrepreneurs, right? And you got to reconnect with that. You got to allow yourself to have that freedom, but also reconnecting with your relationships. Feeling like a robot because you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you don't have time for anything else. This is the best ways to reconnect with your relationship, with your spouse, with your kids, with your friends. We're humans. We need that. And your health, please, please, please take care of your health. The irony of it is that we're all in the health field. And health is the first thing that we're going to start to neglect when we get busy. That's the irony of it all. And that was funny because I was working in the fitness industry, and so I had to be in shape, and I had to be, live by my words. But I had gained 30 pounds, and I was really out of shape. I had stopped going to the gym, and I had to reconnect with that. And more importantly, I implemented systems in my business. That's what I'm going to talk about. So this is pretty much how Ethic was born. Tools and trainings to help entrepreneurs and small businesses become more efficient and effective by employing better, smarter, simpler working methods and systems. And Ethic is short for two words. I can't remember who asked me the question yesterday. What does Ethic mean? Two words. Efficiency. So efficiency is to accomplish something with the least waste of time, effort, and resources, right? As humans, we have finite resources. Our time, obviously, our energy, but also our attention. It's so easy nowadays to just be distracted by the next shiny object. Oh, this is cool, this is cool. This guy says I should do this and do that, right? So easy. And the second one is efficacy. It's the ability to produce desired or intended result or outcome. Remember, it's not about more. It's always about right. Megan talked about, understanding who you're serving, the right people. But understanding as well what's right for you. Own your ambition. If your ambition is to be free, do it. You don't have to build a multi-billion-dollar business to be successful. Success is what you make it. So question for you, if you'd step away from your business for 3 months, 6 months, a year, what would happen? Remember, your business is your vehicle. Would your business be like this? On the side of the road, burning down, and there's nothing to do? Or would it be like this? Tesla, driving on the coast somewhere in California. How would it be? So that's where we came up with actually the self-driving business systems that we now implement. We help business implement into their businesses. And I'm going to show you pretty much what it looks like. And these are the systems that we implemented for ourselves, then started teaching, a few years ago, teaching other entrepreneurs like you who were going through the burnout zone, right? And the pain zones. So there's a 3-step process that we use. First of all, the first one is called the efficient business leader process. So this is pretty much what we talked about yesterday, okay? Managing your time, your tasks, and your talent, right? You had the overview yesterday. Starting working with the Epic Planner will do that. Please, you have the Epic Planner, use that, give it a good shot. Give it like, your first quarter. If you like it, keep going. Usually we see the best results, like people start to really integrate all the methodologies after the second quarter. So you're going to see you're going to realize your mistakes that you're going to be doing on the first quarter. You might do some of them in the second quarter, and the third quarter usually it's pretty much integrated, in your life. But the first step before you try to patch things in your business or implement different systems in your business, work on you and on yourself and implement that, okay? Meg and I give you the tool, please use it, okay? Give it a good shot. Then there's what we call efficient team structure. So again, I talked about hiring just in time versus just in case and things like that. And we build what we call self-managed units in our businesses. So we want to set up our teams to be self-managed, okay? So we don't have to micromanage them all. So the first thing that you should be doing when you get to that step is to hire an integrator. Anyone familiar with the show Suits on Netflix? Right. So you're probably familiar with these two, right? Who are these guys? Harvey and Donna. In reality, who's the boss? Donna. I mean, Harvey without Donna, have you seen how it is? It's chaotic, goes into depression, it's not pretty, right? Donna is why Harvey can do what he does. And what's going to allow you to do what you do as your business grows is to hire a Donna. I work with multiple integrators over my career. Over the past few years, I've been working with someone fantastic called Cedric, the French-Canadian guy from Montreal, but lives in Thailand 9 months out of the year. He's by far, he's a beast. He's the best integrator I ever had. And he's my Donna. He's my Donna. I mean, the more you look at it, the funnier it is. Look at this guy. But that would be your main hire. Don't try to hire 10,000 people to take on your humongous workload. Start with your Donna, okay, your integrator. That person will make the world of a difference in your business, right? Megan has Heather, her Donna. And you should look at the same. So if you work with Megan, obviously she will share that process with you on how to attract that type of person. And third is to create what we call a self-driving business operating system. So it's a very simple system. We have different templates for that, and we have different systems, but it boils down to 3 things. So team performance systems, effective execution systems, and operational momentum systems. So team performance is tracking, how your business is going, how your business is doing, and how your team is doing. So you probably heard about, you know what KPIs are, obviously, key performance indicators. So we have what we call passive KPIs. So passive KPIs are all the things that happen, that you don't have necessarily to do it, so, the numbers grow or evolve. We have what we call the proactive KPIs. So pretty much we track the numbers based on the actions of the staff. So your staff does something, they work into a project, we track that, and we have different numbers based on, it could be the number of emails that they send, the number of contacts that they made last week. It could be the number of clients, if you have a clinic, the number of clients that they served, etc. But we also have what we call a personal alignment scorecard, which is human KPIs. And the problem we see, and mostly with, in the business world, is that most business owners are going to take their employees like, hey, I pay you, you got to perform, right? But they disregard their health completely, physical and mental. And we have systems for that to help them track how their employees are really doing, okay? Have you been on a date with your wife? How many times have you gone to the gym last week? I mean, how are you doing? And all these things. We have different questions and different categories for that, and we track that on a weekly basis. First of all, that ensures that, well, employees love it because they feel that, hey, he cares about me. They want me to succeed. I don't feel alone and like not having to talk about that. Because if you get out of the burnout zone, that doesn't mean like I'm getting out of the burnout zone, but my employees are getting the burnout. Not me, I don't care. You want to make sure that everybody's out of the burnout zone, okay? Oops. So we have then execution systems, so project management, process as well, and we have like a system to create what we call the 90-10 playbook, which is pretty much a fancy word for our standard operating procedures that we do, okay? We talked yesterday about projects and processes, right? And when we did the Epic Planner training, when you grow, obviously, you're going to need to build better systems to manage your projects and manage your processes. Start using the Epic Planner for yourself. You're going to see how it works, and from there, you can start working with your team on that. And then we have systems for operational momentum, so meetings, communication, and a system as well to eliminate completely the fires in the business. So it's called Fiona's Desk. Fiona stands for figure it out and next action. So instead of, let's say I'm your employee, I'm like, you gotta tell me exactly what to do now because I don't know and I'm stuck. And then they're gonna reach out to you, they're gonna send you an email, they're gonna call you, and then it's gonna like pretty much interrupt your day, and then you're gonna feel like that's all you do, right? We got a system for that where everything that is non-life threatening needs to go on Fiona's desk. And we picture Fiona as a very mean woman. And when you put something on her desk, you're not taking it again. And we attended during the meeting next week. So there's a full system for that. It's perfect actually to keep the business out of fireproof pretty much. So there's a few valuable lessons that I want you to go out of here today with. Basic, know your destination. Understand where you're going. Be very, very honest with yourself. What do you want out of your business? Okay? Why? Why are you in business? What's the big, big intent of your business? Where you want to go? You don't have to do anything the toxic entrepreneurial culture tells you to do. Okay? As you evolve into this entrepreneurial world, you're going to hear or you're going to come across different people, different influencers, the guys on the gram who prone the hustle and the non-stop work. And if you don't work 80 hours a week, you're not worthy of being an entrepreneur. It's all BS, guys. But this is what the entrepreneurial world preaches, unfortunately. Okay? I got 0 minutes left, but sorry. Time management. Have non-negotiables. Be very clear on what you're willing to do and not to do. Have a not-to-do list and live religiously through it. Don't get lost in the burnout zone. When you feel like you're in the burnout zone, start doing something about it. Think about the 8 points that I gave you. Start working from there, okay? Have self-structure and become an efficient business leader. This is where it starts. It starts with you guys. It doesn't start with your employees, with your team. It starts with you. You're the leader. And as you grow as an entrepreneur, you will evolve from a worker or doer to a leader. And your main job as your business grows is not going to be to micromanage people. It's going to be to lead and become a real leader. And don't forget about it. Implement systems, right? I gave you some pointers. Most of you guys are probably not even ready to start implementing the self-driving business systems yet. However, there will be a time where you will. For now, focus on yourself, and eventually when you feel like you're too stretched out, Donna. She doesn't need to have a mustache like mine. Okay? Don't be afraid to take your hands off the wheel. So sometimes that's the biggest thing that's preventing us to grow our business and our impact, is that we love our business so much, we love our vehicle so much that we want to do all the driving ourselves. And when someone wants to take, the wheel off of your hands, you're like, no, I got to do it myself, right? If you watch, go on YouTube and watch videos of people who use a self-driving car for the first time. It's hilarious. So you see, like Tesla, pretty much hey, you press a button and the car starts driving itself. It's fantastic. But we're not used to do that. It's the same thing in your business, right? But you have people in the car like that, and all of a sudden they have to take the hands off the wheel. You're like, ah, oh my God. It's hilarious. I don't do it justice. It's fantastic. Go see it. But it's scary. It will be scary to take your hands off the wheel as a business owner, right? And have someone do the driving, but it will be necessary at one point, right? And don't be afraid to do so. And the fact is, Donna is more than likely a better driver than you are. 99.99% of the time. And last but not least, measure success on your own terms, okay? You define your own success. The title was How to Drive Your Business to Success Without the Burnout. You define what success is, not Gary Vaynerchuk, not Grant Cardone, not whatever influencer or mentor, like Tai Lopez says. This is another guy. That they say about what success should look like as an entrepreneur. You define it and be very clear about it. Remember, you have a number of experiences left. Like for me, this is my reminder. Since I had my kids, this is what I want to do more and more. Being on the patio with my little girl, with my firstborn, early in the morning, we wake up, we're on the patio, I pour myself a cup of coffee, she pours herself some almond milk or something in a little jar. She pretends it's coffee. And we live on the river, and we watch the ducks and everything, and we just chill. And I know I only have a number of experiences left. It's perishable. I'm not going to have that forever. But I know that. And now we got Michaela, who's 4 months old, and I know that's going to come as well. And for me, I need to realize that every single time I have an opportunity for a meeting, it's okay to say no, because for me, success looks like this. This is what I want. So remember that I said that when you do that, something really crazy happens. So remember I showed you that. That's something that I found that I had built about 12, 13 years ago, and I found it last year before building this keynote for Healthpreneur Live. I looked at it. So my first reaction when I looked at it, I was like, what the fork? You guys watched The Good Place on it's hilarious. So that's what I say now when I don't want to swear. It's like, what the fork? What the shirt? It's hilarious. But I looked at it and I started like, wow. I compared it to what my life looks like now. So when you allow yourself to get out of the burnout zone but live by your conviction, what success looks like to you, this is what happens. And I was like, holy hell. Unconsciously, I came back to what I really wanted. I had totally forgotten about that thing, right? But this is pretty much, unconsciously even redid the Arnold Schwarzenegger photo. Sick. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not kidding. It's just what it is. And when you allow yourself to be very aligned with what your definition of success is, this is what eventually happens. So there you go. Thank you, guys. You can reach me anytime at dave@daveruel.com. This is my personal email. Feel free, if you have anything or any concerns, to send me an email. If you love the Effect Planners and you have an audience and you want to promote these products to your audience, we have a pretty good affiliate program as well for you where you can make some commissions on the planners. So that was my shameless, push. And thank you, and drive smart. Thanks, guys.